The British Gas Swim Britain Challenge is a great way to get the whole nation involved, be more healthy, be more active.
It's a giant relay race. We need teams of 4, so hopefully lots of people can get involved. Swim Britain are providing training sessions. This will encourage people to see the benefits of improvements.
Swim Britain will really help me break away from my busy schedule, just get away from everything.
That element of teamwork and training in a group is great fun. You know, anyone can swim no matter what your kind of fitness or sporting background.
That's what's brilliant about this, is that it is a team event. It just makes it so much more fun. You can all cheer each other, support each other on.
I want to take part in Swim Britain because I want to get fitter, lose some weight and make a permanent change to my exercise routine.
So make sure you sign up to this amazing challenge. You never know, I could be on your team.
The buzz is just unbelievable just now. It's back in my hometown in Troon, everybody's talking about it, and just hopefully I can be part of that Scotland team, and if I am, it will be a memory I'll never forget.
Since joining Scottish Gymnastics to compete at the Commonwealth Games, it's going to be my first Commonwealth Games, and no better place to do it than in our home country.
The Commonwealth Games are really the only time you get to represent like Scotland on its own, and yeah, it's really special. It's like your own little family really when you're on the team. Go Scotland!
Do you know, I don't think there'll be anything to beat it. You know, I competed at the London Olympics and that was really special, but Glasgow I think will just be something else. Go Scotland!
It's very important to have the backing of the community, your country and that. I'd like folk to get behind you and enjoy what you're doing and appreciate what you do, and that's what hard work's for. Go Team Scotland!
I think it's really important that people back Team Scotland. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everyone to come together and support the team.
There's obviously going to be a great buzz around the city, and we're really looking forward to having these spectators come out and see netball. Netball's not one of the most profile sports that we've got here, so we're really looking forward to seeing how we can really engage with the spectators and show what netball's all about. Go Scotland!
Oh, the support will be huge. If everyone turns up, it's going to be a great atmosphere. There's nothing better than playing on a badminton court with the whole crowd welcoming behind you. It's a really great feeling, and I really hope to experience it.
Being from Glasgow myself, nothing more that you want to do in your career. Homegrown, in your city, all your friends, family can all come and watch. There's nothing really more you want. Go Scotland!
Being in judo, it's an individual sport, but when you're in that fight and if you're down the score, if you just need that extra lift. With Glasgow 2014 coming up and the massive Scottish team that we're going to have in Glasgow, it feels like a family. Go Scotland!
It's a huge honour and it's a pinnacle of anyone's career. I was fortunate enough to play back in Melbourne a few years ago now, where the whole experience was incredible. I'm sure that Glasgow can look to emulate that.
The atmosphere in Delhi was great, even when we're halfway across the world. So to imagine what it's going to be like in Glasgow when we're in front of a home crowd, it's going to be twice as good. Go Scotland!
This will be my first games and it'll be a home game, so for me it's, as much as it's a cliche, it will be a dream come true, and just to have that support and to have my family and friends support me at home games, it means everything to me. Go Scotland!
Good afternoon from the International Swimming Centre here at Tollcross in Glasgow, and a warm welcome to you for this afternoon's coverage brought to you by Quipu TV of the Scottish Gas National Swimming Championships. So I'm Duncan McKinnell. I'll be commentating on the action this afternoon, and I'm joined by Heather Albin from the Glasgow School of Sports. Once again with me. She was with me this morning. We had a good time this morning. I'm sure we'll have a good time this afternoon. Good afternoon, Heather.
Good afternoon, Duncan.
So we've just seen the Sports Scotland shots showing preparations for Glasgow 2014, and of course that's going to be in the minds of quite a lot of these athletes as they come through these championships and into the next few months of their preparations. Tell us a bit about what it's going to be like for those athletes as they come up into 2014.
I think coming up after the summer, after World Championships, back into training, looking to the trials that will be held here in April next year. There's the Scottish trials followed by the GB trials, all to be held at Tollcross. And I think crucial time in the training in the next 8-9 months.
So it's good preparation for them competing competitively here in Tollcross, ahead maybe of their British and other Commonwealth rivals that they're going to be up against next year. Will that give them any advantage?
Oh, definitely. I think just the more they can compete in this facility and get used to the facility, the more benefit it is to them. And I think having a home games is so exciting, and all the athletes will be looking forward to that.
So we've got a lot of up-and-coming young athletes in this afternoon session, and we look forward to seeing them. Of course, they'll be gunning to rival their older colleagues and force their way into this evening's finals. So we'll be watching through the afternoon as to whether any of them can do that. We've got a busy program, starting with men's 200 individual medley, women's 400 free, women's 100 backstroke. After that, still on the backstroke theme, we've got men's 200 backstroke, and women's 200 butterfly. Then we go into sprints to finish off the afternoon, men's 50 freestyle and women's 50 breaststroke. So lots to look forward to this afternoon. And we are looking forward to hearing from you as well. And let us know what you think about this live coverage using hashtag SGN13Live. That's hashtag SGN13Live. And we'll be feeding back on your messages. Also, Scottish Swimming are running an Instagram photograph competition. So using hashtag SGN13Pics, P-I-X, you can enter that, and the 10 best pictures as chosen by Scottish Swimming will be posted on Facebook, and you can vote for your favourite. So opportunity for you to enter that competition. We're also very grateful for our commercial partners who are helping us to bring you this transmission. So it's brought to you by Scottish Swimming with the support of Scottish Gas and Glasgow Life, and we're grateful to them and all the other commercial partners for their continued support. So the officials are just coming onto the poolside now, so we'll be starting the racing probably in around 2 minutes' time. Just a few preparations before that. So Heather, what do we think is going to happen this afternoon? Do you think we can get some of these youngsters to get through and find some swims this evening?
Well, hopefully we'll see some of these youngsters come through. We have done in the last few afternoons that one or two have got themselves into the finals to give themselves a second swim. Should be some really good racing this afternoon, some close racing. Good to see some of them move forward.
And for all of them, I imagine it's a chance to improve on their long course best times and to show the results of some hard work over the last few months in training.
Yes, definitely. And some of them might be chasing British age group or youth times to go down to Sheffield at the end of July.
Yes, I'm sure quite a number of them will be in that position. More and more Scots going down to those competitions every year now, and certainly in recent years they've made a pretty good showing there.
Yeah, it's great seeing the Scots go down there and dominate a little bit.
Not that we're jingoistic here. No,
not at all.
Of course not. But we are looking for Scots' swimming domination of the world. So, men's 200 metres individual medley will be the first to come up this afternoon. We're going to have 5 heats there. We've got the swimmers coming to the blocks now, and probably just a minute or so away from the swim yet. But we will be away pretty soon. The first heat has got entry times around about 2:27, 14-year-old and 16-year-olds. Looks like there's 4 swimmers up at the blocks for this first heat. So 200 meters individual medley. out hard and keep going hard.
Yeah, think about 4 hard fast 50s, one in each stroke, good turns. See what happens.
So the swimmers are on their blocks and we're ready to go. So we have 4 swimmers going in this first heat. We have Chris Watson of Warrender in lane 3, Mark Elric of First in lane 4, Alistair Lambert of Warrender in 5, and Stuart Gomez of Aberdeen in lane 6. All these swimmers 2:27s, 2:27.10 up to 2:27.40 in their entry time, so should be a good competitive first heat here.
Yeah, quite close in that first 50 fly, with Mark Elric just getting the touch over Alistair Lambert.
So Mark Elric, part of the first programme, the Falkirk based programme, a combination of Falkirk, Bowness and Grangemouth making up the teams in first. Alongside them, Alistair Lambert of Warrender, of course the Edinburgh based very strong programme under coach Laurel Bailey. And it is Warrender's Alistair Lambert who's going to lead halfway by maybe a metre, just under. 1:07.06 for him. Transition from stroke to stroke, that's quite a specialist skill.
It's something I think that has to really be practiced within the training background, and like really working speed into the turns, make sure on that back to breast turn, try to get the flip turn in and then strong off the wall, and not to use the turns as a rest.
Which transition do they find most difficult normally?
I think the back to breast on. There's a mixture of people just touching and flipping round onto the front or flipping over. And I suppose that depends on the one that you're taught or the one you feel most comfortable with.
Yeah. So Alistair Lambert, he's had a good breaststroke leg and he's opened up now a 2-second gap, 1:52.76 going into the freestyle.
Mark Elric still holding on there in second place.
And Mark Elric maybe coming back a bit. So 2 metres or so is the gap. That looks to be holding now.
I think Alistair's got this in the bag.
So Alistair Lambert then, it's in the bag. And here he comes, just making sure of that, and comes in 2:26.79, improves on his entry time.
And Mark Elric second, 2:29.01. And a battle between Chris Watson and Stuart Gomez for third, with Chris Watson taking it in 2:36.91. And Stuart in fourth with 2:37.72.
So confirmation of that result on the screen for you now. Lambert first, 2:26.79. Elric second, 2:29.01. And Watson third. So on to heat 2. No hanging about here. Whistle goes, and looks like we've got 9 swimmers to go here. So off we go. Colin Doyle of North Lanarkshire in 0, Cameron Arnott of City of Aberdeen in 1, Ben Cowburn, South Aberdeenshire in 2, Craig Watt of West Lothian in 3, Blair Doughty, Dundee City Aquatics in 4, Kieran Izzett of City of Glasgow in 5, Fraser Meadows of Warrender in 6, Blair Fotheringham of St Thomas in 7, Greg Turner of Fife Performance in 8, and Callum Wellstead of Warrender in 9. In fact, no swimmer in lane 2 in this one.
Good start there from Callum Wellstead in lane 9, touching first at the end of the fly leg in 29.29, with Kieran Izzett second from City of Glasgow in 29.58.
So over a second faster than heat 1 on the fly leg. And coming down pretty close now in the centre lanes. Doughty of Dundee City Aquatics in 4, Izzett City of Glasgow in 5. So your old programme and your new programme battling it out here,
That's
Heather.
it, but I think Callum Wellstead and Warrender, lane 9, just out there at the side, touching first in 65.63.
Yeah, that's a very nice backstroke section from Callum. And he's certainly turned this completely around here, and he's now about 4 or 5 metres up.
A substantial lead over the rest of the field, but some good breaststrokers coming through here.
So we're going to see a charge from anyone in the breaststroke. Certainly lane 1, Cameron Arnott going quite nicely.
Yeah, and Blair Doughty from Dundee City Aquatics in lane 4 looks to be moving forward.
Did you coach Blair when you were up there?
No, he was in a younger group.
Right.
He wasn't in the senior group when I left Dundee.
So Callum 148.95.
Greg Turner 5 Performance turning in second and 151.91.
So Wellstead then, don't think he'll be caught here. Greg Turner is certainly going nicely, and so is Blair Doughty in 4, and lane 1 Cameron Arnott, yep. But Wellstead hanging on to it at the moment, although his lead is shrinking.
Looks like Doughty and Arnott are coming through to challenge him in this last 10 metres.
So very tight here as they come into the wall, but actually Wellstead in the end reasonably comfortable. Second of an advantage, 2:23.51.
Second, Blair Doughty 2:24.64, and taking third in 2:24.92 was Cameron Arnott.
So 3-second improvement for Wellstead there, and the confirmation of the result there, 2:23.51 for Wellstead. Doughty second, 2:24.64, and Arnott third, 2:24.92. So on to heat 3, and you can see the lineup there. And all swimmers are going here. So around about a 5-second spread in times in this one, so it should be a little more spread out. We've got Fraser Ross, City of Glasgow in 0, Ewan McComish, South Lanarkshire in 1, Sam Andrews of West Lothian in 2, Nathan Waters, St Thomas in 3, Finlay Dean, City of Aberdeen in 4, Aaron Todd of Perth City in 5, Matt McInnes of City of Glasgow in 6, Andrew Hepburn, Warrender in 7, Adam Poole of Warrington in 8, and Toby Douglas of Eyemouth in 9. Martin McInnes it is in lane 6, just to be clear.
And it's Aaron Todd turning in first place off the fly leg and holding that lead as we go into the last 25 of the backstroke.
So Aaron entered on 2:22. Just so as you're aware, 2:17 is the sort of time required to make the B final here. So these guys need something like 4 or 5 second improvement. Todd going nicely here.
Looks very comfortable going into that back to breast turn. Quite close for second between Finlay Dean's Nathan Watt and Martin McInnes from Glasgow.
So about a 2.5 second advantage for Aaron Todd.
It looks like Finlay Dean's is pushing through on the breaststroke leg. Finlay swims with the City Aberdeen swim team.
Yep, they seem to have reverted to their traditional green caps here, and Finlay is coming right back now at Aaron Todd in the breaststroke, and also on the other side, Martin McInnes of City of Glasgow also making progress in the black cap. So it's these three. Let's see who has the touch at the end of the breaststroke. It's close, but it is still Aaron Todd by half a second, 1:48.38. Can he hold it in the freestyle? Still, it's Finlay Dean's his main challenger. I think we're down to these two, although in lane 8, Adam Poole is coming up nicely. But it is the red cap still of Aaron Todd.
Even into that last 20 metres, Aaron just staying ahead of Finlay.
Yep, it looks to be now about a metre in it. So Todd, who's led from the off, holds on to take it, 2:20.46. He improves his time by over 2 seconds. So should be happy with that, you would think.
Finlay Dean's touched in second in 2:20.97, and Martin McInnes taking third in 2:23.67.
Yep, just by a tenth in the end. McInnes in third, but the summary up for you now. Aaron Todd then, 2:20.46. Taking it, Finlay Dean second, and third was Martin McInnes. Moving on to Heat 4. We have Samuel Jones of West Lothian in lane 0, Gareth Allen of Stirling in 1, Alistair Crichton of Warrender in 2, Kieran Preston of South Aberdeenshire in 3, Taylor Young of St Thomas in 4, Callum McBeath of Forres in 5, Daniel Green of South Aberdeenshire in 6, Struan Stewart of East Lothian in 7, Scott McClay of Perth City in 8, and Scott Griffin of South Aberdeenshire in lane 9.
Okay, and turning first at the fly is Taylor Young from Arbroath St Thomas in 29.82. With Struan Stewart from East Lothian in second place at the moment.
Yeah, nice alliterative name, Struan Stewart. Get your tongue around that one. And he's going nicely. He's in the mix just behind Taylor Young.
And Gareth Allen over there in lane 1 from Stirling.
Yep, in the white cap. In lane 1, about a metre back on the leader as they come to halfway. So Young going through 106.57. Not quite as fast as some earlier heats. Second, Gareth Allen. Third, Daniel Green. Has not mentioned him in the lead up. The South Aberdeenshire swimmer in lane 6. Looks like Stewart's ahead of him now, though. Pushing on, but still behind Taylor Young, the Arbroath St Thomas swimmer.
Kieran Preston looks to be coming through strong in lane 3 for South Aberdeenshire on his breaststroke leg, as well as Struan Stewart back into the mix from East Lothian in lane 7.
But it's still very much Taylor Young's race. You would think he's a second up on Stewart at the 150 turn, and then Preston in third, 147.42. The split for Taylor Young, and I think it's him versus Struan Stewart coming down this last length, and very much the advantage still with Taylor Young. So about 3 meters to go, and it's green versus yellow, and green's going to be the winner. Taylor Young brings them in 2:19.79.
Struan Stewart in second there with 2:22.43, and coming up into third place was Kieran Preston from South Aberdeenshire in 2:23.89.
So a good improvement for Taylor on his entry time there, 2:19.79, a second and a half improvement, and as you can see, he is the winner. Struan Stewart second, 2:22.43, and Kieran Preston third in 2:23.89. So some good PBs there.
And we have to remember sometimes that some of these youngsters have swam in the morning heats.
Yeah, quite difficult, I would think, to have to swim in the morning and then again in the afternoon, and potentially again in the evening. So final heat, again we've got one empty lane, this time it's lane 6. So we have John Wright of North Ayrshire in 0, Callum Chappell of Winsford in 1, Findlay Douglas of Geary in 2, Callum Reid of Warrender in 3, Cameron Muir of South Ayrshire in 4, Ross Hughes of North Ayrshire in 5, Ewan Dalgleish of West Lothian in 7, James Murphy of Ren 96 in 8, Alistair Bruce of South Aberdeenshire in 9.
On the fly turn in lane 3 is Callum Reid from Warrender leading the field out in 28.88.
Yep, that's the first split we've seen under 29 seconds, but he's got some company here in the white cap in lane 5. That's Ross Hughes of North Ayrshire. So these two pretty well matched here. Maybe Ross now just edging into the lead.
Ross having a really strong backstroke leg here. He comes in under the flags to turn onto the breaststroke.
104.65. So fairly close, just half a second, bit less between Hughes and Reid. Third place is much closer as well, but quite a way behind the leading two. James Murphy just has it, although the South Ayrshire swimmer Cameron Muir, now breaststroke is his thing, so he could move up here. But it is looking quite good for Ross Hughes, I'd say, at the moment.
Yes, maintaining that lead that he had coming off the backstroke leg.
Looks very good in his breaststroke.
And Cameron Muir, though, coming up and catching up on Callum Reid.
Yes, he is, as they turn into the freestyle. So Hughes taking it. In fact, Muir has gone just past Reid by a tenth. So 1:46.86 is Hughes' final split. Coming down the final length, and Cameron Muir is continuing to push here, and he's got the lead down to about 1.5 meters with 15 meters to go. It's white against blue, north against South Ayrshire, and it looks like Ross Hughes will hold off the challenge. He's going to take it. Entry time 2:21.74, knocks 1.3 off that in 2:20.41. Muir second and Callum Reid third. So good contest there, but Ross Hughes was not to be deterred, and he wins it, as you can see, 2:20.41. Cameron Muir second, 2:21.23, and Callum Reid third in 2:23.06.
Good race by these young boys. It doesn't look like any of them will progress through into second swims tonight.
No, unfortunately not. They needed a sort of mid to low 2:17s to do that, so that was just a bit beyond them, but we'll see whether that will change in our next event, and that is the women's 400 freestyle. So we have 4 heats here with 5 swimmers to go in heat 1. So 5 swimmers entered, 4:56 and 4:57s. They are Ali Smith, City of Aberdeen in lane 2, Fiona Ingalls of Midlothian in 3, Katie MacDonald of Warrender in 4, Kirsty Ness, City of Aberdeen in 5, and Claire Maloney of Carnegie in 6. So just to give you a feel on this one, we're looking for 4:39 to get a second swim here. These swimmers entered 4:56, so I suspect it'll be a later heat than this one that will challenge for a place, but you never know.
Yep. And turning first there, first 50 is Claire Maloney from Carnegie. But close race, girls all quite close together, especially for second to fourth.
Yeah, just one finding the pace a bit too hot here, so it is Carnegie's Claire Maloney who leads, and then I think Fiona Ingalls just in second ahead of Warrender's Katie MacDonald. So I think that'll be the 1, 2, 3 as they go through the 100. Maloney 1:08.15. Lead of a second and a half on the following 3 swimmers. All in a line now.
Katie Ness had a good turn there and just accelerated off the wall and has kind of caught up with Katie MacDonald and Fiona Ingalls.
Yep, so very tight between the 3 of them, but they're losing touch a bit with Claire Maloney here. She is extending her lead very nicely here. Just get a feel for her split down this third 50. She goes through in 1:44.61, so that's about a 36-second split.
Yeah, she's looking strong as she comes into come to the first 200. Other 3 girls still in a row battling it out.
And that might just drive them on to come back at Claire, particularly if she has judged this wrong and gone out too fast, but I'm not saying she has. Wouldn't dare do that. Certainly
we'll
leading
wait and see
still.
after the next 100.
About 5 meters up still. 2:22.11, so about 1:14 pace.
Katie MacDonald in second, Fiona Ingalls third, and Kirsty Ness turning in third, but not much separating these 3 girls.
No, less than a second there. So that one you would think will start to separate out in maybe this third 100, when somebody maybe just pushes the accelerator and somebody else maybe just fades.
Yeah, it looks like Katie MacDonald and Kirsty Ness are just pushing that little bit away from Fiona at the moment. But still not much in it.
No, Maloney, if anything, is extending a lead now. It is nearly 6 seconds. So she's continuing to look good. So I think any of my fears that she might have gone out too fast at the moment look unfounded. Still the 3 of them battling away here.
Claire Maloney got a good lead now.
So it's about 8 metres with 100 to go. She goes through in 3:37.61, so pace did drop just a little bit, about a second and a half slower than the previous 100. But should be on for a PB. 4:57 entry time. I think she'll be maybe 5 or so seconds inside that.
That's a good swim there from Claire Maloney, but the other 3 girls still neck and neck, still battling it out. It just takes one of them just to put a little sprint on to move away from the other 2.
Now you must be very aware of a close battle like that, particularly when you're in adjoining lanes. So
I'm sure you must do.
Do you hold your nerve? What do you do?
I think you take the risk and just push a little bit.
Just see what the others have got.
Yeah, especially with just 150 to go.
So coming down the last one then, and it's very close indeed here. Still in the battle for second place, but none of them are going to get anywhere near Claire Maloney here. This is a convincing performance from the off for her. Any predictions for second place at this stage, Heather?
I think I'm going to go for Fiona Ingalls from Midlothian.
Okay, that's the tip, but it's Claire Maloney comes in 4:51.50. It's tight, but it is Fiona Ingalls who's got the edge. I think you're going to be right on the money there, Heather. She takes second, 4:59.45, so they'll be pleased to have got under 5 minutes there. And I think 4:59.85 for Kirsty Ness, but a good PB for Claire Maloney, 4:51.50. So as we summarise the result there for you, Claire Maloney 4:51.50 is the winner. Fiona Ingalls second, 4:59.45. So on to heat 2. No swimmer in lane 4. That's Katie Stark rather that's missing. That's a shame. Katie Stark had a terrific sprint yesterday. 50 freestyle, was the junior champion, but obviously decided to not swim this one. So the field is Isla Gordon of Stirling in 0, Heather McClymont, North Ayrshire in 1, Louise Fair of Hearts in 2, Alice Bumstead of Warrender in 3, Brooke Gillies of Carnegie in 5, Shannon Patterson, West Lothian in 6, Ailsa Beck of South Aberdeenshire in 7, Kirsty Pitts of Perth City in 8, and Sophie Dodd of Carlisle Aquatics in lane 9.
Taken out in the first 50s, Brooke Gillis of Carnegie in 31.57, followed closely by Shannon Patterson of West Lothian.
So about a metre's advantage for Brooke. So we saw Claire Maloney leading from the off for Carnegie in the first heat, and Brooke obviously taking some inspiration from that, and she is pushing it out here nicely. Over on the far side, Isla Gordon going well.
And in lane 7, Ailsa Beck from South Aberdeenshire. Just starting to close a little bit on Brooke.
It's Isla Gordon on the far side, daughter of Richard Gordon, formerly, of course, development director at Scottish Swimming, and now out in Singapore. So if you are watching this feed, Richard, it's a big hi to you. Hope you're enjoying Singapore and enjoying watching your daughter. Tweet us if you are. You should be. Your daughter's swimming. Anyway, back to the front, and it is Brooke Gillies at the 150 mark, 142.84, leads by 2 seconds. Ailsa Beck and Isla Gordon, second and third.
Brooke holding that lead. Shannon Patterson and Ailsa holding on to second place at the moment, but Kirsty Pitts from Perth is now starting to close the gap a little bit on Shannon Patterson.
So this race, you think, has got some mileage in it. There's a number of swimmers who are in touch to challenge in the second half, but Brooke still leads in, and she comes through halfway in 2:19.71, so about 2.5 seconds faster than Claire Maloney's split.
Ailsa turning in second. Ailsa Gordon with Ailsa Beck still in third, but followed closely by Kirsty Pitts.
Right, 2 Ailsas battling it out there for second. Gordon in 0 and Beck in 7. Both of them still, though, behind Brooke Gillis, the Carnegie 15-year-old. So Carnegie looking to continue this going, but
Looks like Ailsa Gordon's trying to make a push on Brooke.
yep, there's down to about 1.2. It was about 1.5 seconds, so she's taken nearly half a second off that lead down that last 50. See if she can continue to work it as they come towards 300.
She's looking strong coming into this last 25 up to the 300 mark.
Lane 7, Ailsa Beck, is also still in the hunt. Could be on for a good, hard final 100. Gillies, I think, is just still going to have the advantage at 300. She goes through 3:34.35. Her lead now down to 3/4 of a second.
Who can just push through in this last 100. Ailsa Gordon giving it a really good go there in lane 0.
So we talked a bit this morning about when swimmers are a long way apart in the pool and they're battling against each other and whether you're aware of the other ones. But at the moment, I think Isla just has to push on and swim her own swim and ignore what's going on over in the centre lanes.
Yeah, and she certainly looks like she's doing that. Now into first place, turning a 4:10.93 going into the last 50.
And that was a really strong penultimate 50 from her, and she just needs to keep that going now down this final length. Can Brooke Gillis come back at her, though?
No, it looks like Ailsa Gordon is holding on to that lead that she got onto that third 50. Strong kicking now, just starting to look as if she's sprinting that last 20 metres. Brooke Gillis holding on to second with Shannon Patterson chasing her down into third place.
So Isla then, that was a terrific last 100 from her and very good improvements, 4:45.14, so we'll be well pleased with that. Entered on 4:53. Brooke Gillis second, 4:48.87, and in third place Ailsa Beck, 4:50.04. So Richard, if you are watching, you should be very proud of your daughter there. And there is the summary. Isla Gordon 4:45.14 in first place, Brooke Gillis second, Ailsa Beck third. On to heat 3 out of 4. Remember, it's 4:39 you need for a second swim. So we need a 6-second improvement from that previous heat in one of these remaining two. Full house in heat 3. Lexi Waller of Hearts goes in 0. Nikki Miller, South Lanarkshire in 1. Emma Ray of City of Aberdeen in 2. Hayley Grant, Dundee City Aquatics in 3. Lizzie Cleland of Best in 4. Jennifer Ward of North Lanarkshire in 5. Megan Feld of South Aberdeenshire in 6. Ellie Neal of Warrender in 7. Chloe O'Hara of North Lanarkshire in 8. And Beth Constance of Dundee City Aquatics in 9.
And it's Lizzie Cleland that turns first at the 50 in 31.17. And Lexi Waller out there in lane 1 turning in second.
So Lizzie Cleland then, part of the Borders outfit under coach Alex Jordan. A small but perfectly formed group. And she's got the advantage of about 3 metres, 1:05.51 is the fastest 100 split.
And Nikki Miller turning second with Ailey Grant now in third. But still a close fought race for that, going into that second position.
Yep, the other 9 swimmers all within a couple of metres of each other behind Lizzie. So all to play for there, and we'll see whether Lizzie can continue to build her lead here. She's entered 4:46. That's a swim that she did in Sunderland not that long ago. Quite a lot of the Scottish teams go down to the Sunderland May meet. Good facility down there. We went to for age groups while we had our pool closures up here in Scotland and enjoyed our trip down there. And I know a lot of teams enjoy that meet in particular as part of their preparations.
Lizzie Cleland holding on to that lead coming into the last 5 metres of the first 200.
So they split from Isla Gordon 2:19.71 from the previous heat. So this is pretty similar, just slightly faster, 2:19.43 from Nikki Miller second and Ellie Neal third. 2:22 and 2:23 respectively. So 3 seconds or so back, but you get the feeling that they may come back at Lizzie Cleland in the second half.
Well, the way Lizzie didn't turn there and she finished onto a touch, was she going for maybe a 200 time? And the rest of the field seems to be closing on her now as we come up to the 250 mark.
Well, if she was, then the time she got was 2:19.43, and I hope that was what she was looking for, but certainly now it's all change.
Nikki Miller.
Yep, Nikki Miller has it, 2:59.62. Cleland second. Sometimes they do that and then try and come back. It's hard to do that, I would think, if you've sprinted down that fourth 50.
So, but she's still, I mean, she's young. She looks like she's giving it a go and she's not easing back. And you sometimes see that with the seniors, that they ease back into if they've went for a time. But Lizzie's holding on to second at the moment.
But a body length advantage in lane one for Nikki Miller of South Lanarkshire, 3:36.52 for her at the 300. So they've now slipped behind the pace that Isla Gordon set.
Looks like Megan Field coming up into second place there. It's a rather strange turn at the 300 mark where Megan, she touched with her hand as well.
So why would they do that? Just if they've misjudged their tumble, or why?
Have miscounted?
Well, I hope not.
No idea.
At this level, you would think you could count 2 to 400, but
I would hope so.
Maybe a coach will have something to say about that when she gets back to the team. But 4:13.42, Miller leads as they come down from Felt second and Ward now third. Jennifer Ward of North Lanarkshire.
Megan Field though coming through strongly on this coming into the last 25. It looks like she maybe catch Nikki Miller over there in lane one.
So fairly close. Nikki Miller, the youngster, 13-year-old against the 16-year-old Megan Feld, and looks like Nikki should hold it, although it's closing up. Well, at the touch, Nikki does take it by a quarter of a second in the end. 4:48.65. Megan 4:48.89, and third place. Good finish from Lexi Waller. She finished very strongly, 4:53.27. And that result will be summarized for you. Here it is. Nikki Miller, 4:48.65. Megan Feld, 4:48.89. And Lexi Waller, 4:53.27. On to the final heat. And off we go. Heat 4, Cara Smith of Stirling in 0. Caitlin Dryborough of Aberdeen in 1. Robin Dixon of City of Glasgow in 2. Lucy Howarth, City of Newcastle in 3. Lorna Blair of Hearts in 4. Rachel Donald of West Lothian in 5. Sophia Green of Elgin in 6. Kira Peters of Highland in 7. Katie Taylor of First in 8. Ashley McAdam, West Lothian in 9.
Cara Smith and Lucy Howarth taking it out, with Cara getting the touch in 30.97 at the first 50 and Lucy in 31.21.
We're seeing quite a lot of strong swims from the outside lanes in this 400 freestyle. Is that just a reflection that there's not too much between these swimmers?
Yeah, I think the times are quite close, and maybe just through growth and development that the youngsters are starting to come through, and it's time for them to take a drop in their times.
Lucy Howarth coming up strongly in the second 50, and she now has the lead by 15 hundredths, 105.71.
And Sophie Green there from Elgin in lane 6 pushing up with these two girls.
So these three from lane 2, Robin Dixon of City of Glasgow. And, well, looks like it's mainly about the three. Cara Smith over in lane 0 And in lane 3, Lucy Howarth, and in lane 6, Sophia Green. See who gets the touch. It's still the Newcastle girl, Lucy Howarth, 141.14. 16-year-old. I'm not sure we've seen Lucy up in Scotland before, so nice to have her up here. And she is leading the way. If we do have followers on this meet in the Newcastle area, then give us a tweet. Let us know you're there. Show your support for Lucy, and she's going well here.
Just holding it going into that the turn for the first 200, but Cara Smith's still there and Sophie Green holding on into second and third places.
So 2:16.67 is the fastest split we've seen, so Lucy is going nicely here. Number 4:39 is the challenge. If she can keep this pace, she's not going to be far from that. We're still to see anyone really challenge for a place in this evening's swimming, but maybe this time. Let's see. Still going nicely over in lane 0, Cara Smith of Stirling, but, well, not quite holding her own against Lucy Howarth, so Lucy driving on now, 2:52.45, so her lead is now 2.5 seconds.
And Lucy just seemed to push up in into the 250 turn and has taken quite a step forward from Cara.
Third place still is Sophia Green, and then over in lanes 1 and 2, Caitlin Driver and Robin Dixon battling away just ahead of lane 4, Lorna Blair. So that's the position further back, but at the front, Lucy Howarth coming to 300 metres. And she goes through that, 3:28.04, so another just over 1:11. So if she can push on here, she could take it. The 20th spot at the moment, 4:39.25, so needs to really drive on, do a sub 1:11 here, and she could be in.
Yeah, I think that's possible in this last 100.
But she's got no one to help her there and drive her along. She's got to do it on her own now. She's coming towards the 350 turn. Let's see if she can do it. So 350 turn, she goes through in 4:03. So around about 35.5. So that's there or thereabouts. It's going to be close, this. Meanwhile, still second place, Cara Smith, and third place, Sophia Green, but only 700s between those two, so a good battle there. And still that battle in lanes 1 and 2, and Caitlin Driver and Robin Dixon, they're working really hard in those lanes, but at the front it is Lucy Howarth. Now that time, 4:39.25 to get a swim tonight. I think she's good for it. She is. Well done to Lucy Howarth, 4:37.96. So that brings her in, I think, to 19th place. So has a bit of leeway in case, well, in fact, there is no more heat. So she will be good for a swim tonight. So well done to Lucy.
Sophia Green came through there and to take second place in 4:46.82, and Caitlin Driver had an excellent last 50 to take the third spot in 4:49.24.
So the swimmers will be fairly happy, I think, with some of those performances, and particularly Lucy. It'll be interesting to see how she does tonight. That was a big improvement for her, 10 seconds near enough.
Excellent swim there by Lucy, and out in front from the beginning, and did it on her own.
Yes, she did. So the Newcastle programme, I think, has been going through quite a lot of change. Their main pool closed a little while ago, and their rebuilding phase, but Lucy looks like part of a promising future for them. 100 breaststroke now for the men, and we've got 3 heats to go in this one. Counting the heads, 7 swimmers in heat 1.
Yeah, lane 4 seems to be missing.
So 2 lengths of the pool, and we've got Finlay Douglas of Geary in 1, Cameron Broadfoot of Warrender in 2, Vincent Shazashtes of Stirling in 3, Daniel Green of South Aberdeenshire in 5, Blair Doughty, Dundee City Aquatics in 6, Ross Burns of South Lanarkshire in 7, and Scott Irvin of Delting in lane 8.
Cameron Broadfoot had a really nice start there, but coming up close on his heels is Vincent from Stirling. and Daniel Green and Blair Doughty over on the far side, as well as Ross Burns.
So Cameron then, 35-39 at the turn. Got a bit of a personal interest there. He used to be a member of my club, Haddington, but has now moved to Warrender. We're wishing him well there, and he's certainly pushing on, but plenty of people to challenge him. Vincent Jasastis in the yellow.
And Ross Burns over here in lane 7 from South Lanarkshire pushing through.
Yep,
on
he's
the
in the
second
blue.
50.
Blair Doughty as well. So it's pretty tight. The Geary swimmer Finlay Douglas as well. So there's 4 or 5 of them here, all coming in together. Looks, well, does Broadfoot still have the lead? I don't think he does. Burns takes it. Well judged race for him, 1:16.36. Second was Broadfoot, 1:16.67. And the summary there, as you can see, is just as is third, 1:17.11. So Burns first, Broadfoot second, just as is third. So heat 2. 9 swimmers here. And the field is Gareth Haberfield first in 0, Matthew Bueller of Carnegie in 1, Martin McInnes, City of Glasgow in 2, Liam Buchanan of North Lanarkshire in 3, Fraser Ross, City of Glasgow in 4, Benjamin Bowman, Mulgai and Bearsden in 5, Joseph Miley of Geary in 6, Callum Chappell of Winsford in 7, and Jamie Eason of Warrender in lane 8.
It looks at the moment that Jamie Eason got off to a really good start there in lane 8. Jamie's from Warrender.
So he's certainly up there. He leads 34.45.
And Benjamin Bowman turns second in 34.57.
So
very close race here.
Close, yes, indeed. Joseph Miley third at that turn, and he's looking good as well in the blue cap of Geary. So the red of Warrender, Jamie Eason in lane 8. Bowman in the white, Miley in the blue. These three with 15 metres to go. It's going to be very close. Miley now is edging ahead, I think. And this is a good swim from him. Entry time 1:16.83. And Miley has judged this nicely. He takes it 1:14.79.
Okay, second is Jamie Eason there in 1:15.90. And third, Benjamin Bowman in 1:16.22.
So Miley then, that was a well-judged swim there. Nicely judged between the two lengths.
Really nice stroke there from Joseph Miley. It's quite interesting in breaststroke, the difference in the strokes.
And a 2-second improvement for him. Just so you know, it needs something like a 1:10 to find your way into the B final here. A sub 1:10. Heat 3 now. Heat 3 is onto the blocks, and again we've got 9 swimmers here. And those 9 swimmers are Jamie Ingledew of Dundee City Aquatics in 0, Patrick Smith of South Ayrshire in 1, Josh Mitchell of South Ayrshire in 2, Craig Watt of West Lothian in 3, Connor Searle of North Lanarkshire in 4, Craig Cameron of Western Bartonshire in 5, Peter Holmes of Geary in 6, Stephen McFarlane, Western Bartonshire in 7, Andrew Hepburn of Warrender in 8.
And coming into the first 50, it looks like a battle to get in first between Craig Watt from West Lothian and Craig Cameron from Western Bartonshire.
It's Cameron who just got the touch there, 34.48. But again, it's a close one. We saw a tight contest in Heat 2, and looks like we may have another one here.
Looks like
Lane
Peter Holmes
3.
coming back from Geary.
Yep, but it's Watt and Cameron who still have the edge, but can Holmes come back at him? Also McFarlane in lane 7, but I think it is a two-way contest here.
It looks like Craig Watt just edging ahead as we come into this final 5 metres.
Yeah, but it's still
close.
very tight. But you called it, Heather. Craig Watt, 1:13.95. Spot on again. Craig Cameron just behind him, 1:14.23, and Peter Holmes taking third, 1:16.58.
Craig Cameron there from West Dunbartonshire. That was the club that Ross Murdoch came through on before he moved over to Stirling University.
So good breaststroke pedigree in that programme. We move rapidly on in this afternoon session on to the women's 100 backstroke. But the results before we do that: Watt first, 1:13.95, Cameron second, 1:14.23, and Holmes third, 1:16.58. So women's 100 backstroke then. 6 heats here. And we've got, looks like, a full set of swimmers in heat 1.
10 swimmers there.
I can't count up to 10, that's way too many. So off we go with the 100 backstroke, and it's Fiona Ingalls of lane 0 for Midlothian, Chloe Toe, City of Newcastle in 1, Bethany Harrison, Warrender in 2, Rachel Donald of West Lothian in 3, Beth Constance, Dundee City Aquatics in 4, Katie Smith of East Lothian in 5, Cara Hanlon of Highland in 6, Shannon Patterson, West Lothian in 7, Zoe McDonald, Mulgai and Bearsden in 8, and Megan Feld of South Aberdeenshire in 9.
And coming into the first 50, it looks like, oh no, I was going to say Cara Hanlon, but it's Katie Smith from East Lothian gets that touch. Katie in the yellow cap.
Yeah, but very close. So I'll forgive you that one. And it's still very close coming down the second length here. There's a number of swimmers, lanes 4, 5 and 6 in particular. Constance, Smith and Hanlon are all there or thereabouts. Cara Hanlon mainly known as a breaststroker, but she's going nicely in the backstroke here, and well, it's very tight, but Beth Constance just moved recently to Dundee from Fife, and she takes it, 1:14.28, so obviously going well in her new programme.
Cara Hanlon taking second in 14.52, and Katie Smith getting the third place there in 1:14.69.
And confirmation of that top 3 on your screens now. Just been given some breaking news from this morning. Remember, if you were watching this morning, there was a disqualification in the 50 breaststroke. Andrea Strachan in lane 4, one of the fastest, was expected to be for the final. She was disqualified. She's now been reinstated. So there must have been an appeal, and that appeal must have been successful. That's very unusual on what was, I think, supposed to be a flyer. So it'd be interesting to understand the reasoning there, but great news for Andrea. But meanwhile, we move to heat 2 of the women's 100 backstroke. And the field here is Kirsty Niblett of Warrender in 0, Georgia Lynch of Mulgai and Bearsden in 1, Ailey Levine of Warrender in 2, Sarah Bates of Leicester Penguins in 3, Heather McClymont of North Ayrshire in 4, Lindsay Murray of North Lanarkshire in 5, Jennifer Dixon of First in 6, Kate Story of Helensburgh in 7, Faye Prosser of Forres in 8, and Abigail Mason of South Aberdeenshire in 9.
Looked like Sarah Bates from...
No, in fact,
no,
Abigail Mason, 34.79, but again, very close. A number of these ones are very close, particularly at the halfway mark. Sometimes resolves itself a bit more in the second half.
Coming into the last 25 now.
I certainly think Sarah Bates in that purplish cap maybe just does have the edge now.
Sarah Bates maybe from Jennifer Dixon from First.
Yeah, looks like they're the 1-2 as they come in. And Sarah takes it, entered 1:13.08 and knocks a second off that. 1:12.06 for her.
Jennifer Dixon 1:12.08, again under our entry time of 1:13.09. With Faye Prosser of Forest taking the third in 1:13.21.
So some good swims there, and the result there summarised for you on the screen. Bates first, Dixon second, and Prosser third. As we move on to heat 3, just to give you a steer, we need something in the region of our 109.0 to progress, so preferably 108 to make your way into this evening's finals. Some swimmers not too far away from that on entry time, so could be on. We've seen one.
5 girls in these last 3 heats that are sub 70.
So let's see how they go. Heat 3. So 111s and 112 entry times here, with the field Alice Smith of Newburn in 0, Emma Scully of North Ayrshire in 1, Rachel Saxon of South Lanarkshire in 2, Zoe Scott, City of Glasgow in 3, Millie Murdoch, Kelly College in 4, Alex Cunningham, East Lothian in 5, Anna Jurich of Warrender in 6, Erin Cummins of Perth City in 7, Jordan Sturt of Warrender in 8, Fiona Angus, City of Aberdeen in 9. Kelly College then, as a very sports focused school down in the south. Cameron Brodie came from there.
And it's Alex Cunningham from East Lothian that's turning in first place there and holding that lead as we come up into the last 25.
So 1:11.98 entry for Alex, and she's looking good here. She has the advantage of maybe a metre. Lane 2, Rachel Saxon. Millie Murdoch in 4, but still Cunningham, although she's coming under pressure now from Saxon. This is going to be fairly close, but, well, it is Cunningham who takes set 1, 10.46 for her. Improves by a second and a half, so good swim from her. And second there, as you can see, the results summarised. Rachel Saxon, 1:10.78, and Millie Murdoch in third, 1:11.87. So, good swim from Alex. As we move on to heat 4.
Good swim there at the end by Rachel Saxon to come in at 1:10.78, entry time of 1:12.46.
Yeah, and she really pushed Alex Cunningham in those last few metres, just a 55-metre pool, and I think she would have had it. Timing that finish is quite hard on the backstroke, isn't it? And really just spotting your finish.
You go in straight, turn onto your side slightly, kick your legs harder or take another stroke. It's just a judgment call at the end.
Yeah. So you need to be thinking coolly as well as racing hard as you come in. Empty lane, lane 5 this, so 9 swimmers will go in heat 4. And off they go. Erin Rafferty of Carnegie in 0, Danny Buchanan of North Lanarkshire in 1, Megan Kerr in 2 for Western Bartonshire, Megan Petersdaughter of Lerwick in 3, Natalie Lees of West Lothian in 4, Michelle Hoffin of South Ayrshire in 6, Lexi Waller of Hearts in 7, Emma Mason of Stirling in 8, and Caitlin Duffy of South Ayrshire in 9.
Megan Kerr there from Western Bartonshire in lane 2 got off to a really good start and turns in first place in 33.66.
So a reminder, we're looking for something around 109 or below to swim again.
Megan looks like she's accelerating now and holding on to that lead.
Well, there's some challenges in lane 7 in particular. Lexi Waller, the youngster from Hearts. So we saw Kiana McInnes earlier this morning, a good 200 fly swimmer from Hearts, and Lexi Waller is also a very promising Hearts youngster, and she's right there with Megan at the turn. Whoa, just Megan Kerr, 109.65. So, well, they were close there, within 6/10 of a second swim. Second, Lexi Waller, 109.76, as the result is summarised for you. And third place, Michelle Hoffin, 111.31. So Kerr, Waller and Hoffin, the 1, 2, 3.
Strong last 20 metres there by Lexi. Got pipped at the finish.
So within 6/10 or so of a second swim there, so 2 more heats to go. Can one of them do it? Let's have a wait and see.
swimmer Orla Adams out in lane 2.
So the field then is lane 0, Kirsty Pitts of Perth City, lane 1, Lois Smith of City of Aberdeen, lane 3, Charlie Cavens of Warrender, lane 4, Beth Armour of Aberdeen, lane 5, Carolyn McIntosh, City of Aberdeen, 6 is Amy Robertson of Mingers Hill, 7, Jennifer Scott of South Lanarkshire, 8, Megan McCarroll of North Lanarkshire, and 9, Megan Niven of South Ayrshire.
And from here they all look to be in a line going into this first turn.
And I was going to say it was Charlie Cavens, but it's
No,
not.
it goes
It's
to
Jennifer
Jennifer
Scott. 34.27, so that's not as fast as the previous heat, about half a second back. So really need to drive down this second length and push hard.
Been challenged there by Charlie Cavens and Caroline McIntosh. It looks
Yes.
like Charlie's coming into it in the last 20 metres.
Backstroke is very much Charlie Cavens' strength, and she has now got about 1.5 meters advantage. So we asked for a strong second half. We got one, 1:10.38. So that was well, just outside her entry time. In fact, 1:10.26. I'm just getting slightly myself confused there, but there's the 1, 2, 3. Charlie Cavens 1:10.38. Second, Caroline McIntosh 1:11.75, and Kirsty Pitts coming through for third, 1:12.37. So one more heat to try and break through that 1:09.
All 10 swimmers going in this final heat.
Fastest entry time 1:09.8. Cara Smith, Shannon Crawford 1:09.9. So they just need to knock a second off. If they can do that, they could have another swim. India Dodd, Katrina Fowley also could be in the mix. And then, of course, we've seen plenty from the outside lanes, so could be somebody else altogether. The lineup then: Brooke Gillies of Carnegie in 0, Son Breslin of Stirling in 1, Eve White of Dumfries in 2, India Dodd of Warrender in 3, Cara Smith of Stirling in 4, Shannon Crawford of Geary in 5, Katrina Fowley of North Ayrshire in 6, Jennifer Henderson of East Lothian in 7, Kirsty Ness, City of Aberdeen in 8, and Ailsa Beck of South Aberdeenshire in 9.
And it looks like going into this towards the first turn that India Dodds from Warrender is leading the pack.
33.27 for her, so that is the fastest split we've gone. So she's making her bid for this one, and again needs to really push on hard in the second half here. But she's set up the platform for it now. Can she build on it?
In that final, coming up to the final 15, still India Dodd, but Katrina Fowley from North Ayrshire. Sorry, Shannon Crawford from Geary coming through.
And also Eve White, but it's India Dodd then. So 1:09.01 is the target. Oh, so close, 1:09.12. That's unlucky.
Yeah.
So very good swim though from India Dodd, 1:09.12. She takes it from Shannon Crawford second, 1:10.10, and Katrina Fowler third, 1:10.40. It will put her into the reserve, so you never know, she might have a chance. I think that makes her second reserve, so wait and see. If there are withdrawals, she could be there, but she's not guaranteed. But there is the summary. So a great try from India Dodd, 1:09.12. Should be happy though with our second improvement. Second, Shannon Crawford, 1:10.10, and 1:10.40 for Katrina Fowley.
Yeah, excellent swim there by India Dodd.
And she'll be pleased about that, I would think, because she's had a little bit of a difficult time in the last few months, India, so I'm sure she'll be happy with that swim. But then we move on into the men's 200 backstroke now. 6 heats to go here. And looking across the line, 6 swimmers scheduled to go in the first heat. 6 swimmers will go in the first heat. So we just had a text in from Linda Dodd, watching. So go Doddy go, and go Doddy go, she goed. Well, it's not very grammatical, but you know what I mean. Peter Holmes then in Heat 1 in Lane 2. From Geary, Stuart Leonard, City Glasgow in 3. Aaron Stowe, 5 performance in 4. Ross McPherson, South Lanarkshire in 5. Alistair Gourley, South Lanarkshire in 6. Michael Sutton of Delting Dolphins in 7. They'll fall into the pool this time.
Close there in that first 50. With Alistair Gourley just getting the touch in 34.57. Alistair extending that lead as we come into the turn for the first 100.
And it is Alistair Gourley who just has the advantage with his partner Ross McPherson. Just a metre or so back on him. Does it help if you've got a swimmer from your same programme close by you?
Well, it can do, because you're used to training with them. You know what their weaknesses and strengths are, or what their speed's like. But then you can also get tied up that you just end up in a race on your own and forget about everybody else that's around you.
Yep, no point in racing hard against each other if you end up 4th and 5th.
No, and not when you race each other possibly every day in your home programme. But Stuart Leonard there in lane 3 coming through strongly in this third 50 to challenge the boys.
But it is still the Lanarkshire boys who are going to be first and second at the 150, still led by Gourley, 150.01 for him. So pacing around the 38-second mark. Should be inside his 2:29 entry time. Coming under a bit of pressure now from Ross McPherson. And Stuart Leonard, just a metre and a half back or so. He'll have to go hard in the last 15 to catch the two Lanarkshire boys, just half a metre apart. Still, it's Alistair Gourley who has the edge, and it looks like he's going to hold it. In fact, extending his lead just in the latter stages there. Judged his finish pretty nicely. 2:28.27 improves his entry time by over a second.
And Ross McPherson, his teammate, taking second in 2:28.85, and Stuart Leonard, City Glasgow, in third in 2:30.06.
And that top 3 summarised for you now with the others, Stowe, Sutton and Holmes. As we move on to Heat 2. Looks like we have a full field here. One swimmer just hiding behind another one for a moment there. I thought he wasn't there. Callum Mitchell, but he's present and correct. 2:28 to 2:29 is the entry times here. So the field, Jamie Heald of Elgin in 0, Callum Reid of Warrender in 1, Fraser Beebe of Carnegie in 2, Logan Jimison of Lerwick in 3, Max Burns of Margay and Bearsden in 4, David McCluckey of North Lanarkshire in 5, Jamie Murray of Stirling in 6, Ewan Dalgleish West Lothian in 7, Callum Mitchell of First in 8, and Ian Leach of Delting in 9.
Kind of close race going into this first 50.
Callum Reid leading them through it, 33.27. I think a few times in different strokes we've seen him go out really hard. Let's see if he can sustain it.
Quite close in the middle of the pool here.
Yeah, lanes 3, 4 and 5. Logan Jimison, Max Burns, David McCluckey. About a metre back on Callum though still.
Strong swim here in the outside lane of lane 9 by Ian Leach from Delting.
Yeah, they've got a strong programme up in the Shetlands. Delting, Lerwick and South Mainland all contributing some very useful swimmers. 1:10.05 at halfway.
It's still Callum Reid from Ian Leach, with the rest of the field just on their heels.
So Ian Leach in third place behind Logan Jimison second, and Callum Reid still leading at the halfway mark. But, well, certainly lane 9, Ian Leach is still very much in the frame here. So hopefully you can get a good view of him on the camera shot. There's a big stretch between lane 1 and lane 9, the leading two contenders. 148.91 plays 150.06. So coming down the final length, and this is a tight one. Also starting to move up now in lane 2, Fraser Beebe and Jameson in 3. Beebe in particular is making a good move here. It's still, I think, is Callum Reid in lane 1. The early leader has led throughout and is leading by about a metre. Beebe is closing that down, but he's going to run out of pool. So Reid takes it, 2:26.06.
Fraser Beebe coming in second place there, 2:26.74, with Logan Jameson from Lerwick third in 2:27.38.
So Reid there, 3-second improvement for him. There is the summary as summarised by Heather. Callum Reid, Fraser Beebe and Logan Jameson, the 1, 2, 3.
All these boys under their entry times.
So as a coach, if a swimmer swims an improvement time, is that good enough? Or sometimes do you set a target time, and if they don't get that, that's not good enough, even if it is the best time?
I think always the best time to good swim, but sometimes you're just looking for that little bit more. Well, it's trying to maybe put that over in a positive way that encourages them for the next time. But you can never take away a best time.
So heat 3. And once again, the pool is full with 10 swimmers. Aaron Gillan of Kinross in 0, Craig Watt of West Lothian in 1, Finlay Douglas of Geary in 2, Scott Griffin of South Aberdeenshire in 3, James McFarlane of West Lothian in 4, Stuart Gomez of Aberdeen in 5, Colin Graham of City of Glasgow in 6, Alex Forsyth of West Lothian in 7, Darren Smith of North Lanarkshire in 8, and Charlie Smith of East Lothian in lane 9.
Again, tight going into that first turn, but it looks like Colin Graham from City of Glasgow turning first in 33.67. This is Colin's first time qualifying for nationals in an individual event.
So he wants to take full advantage here, and so far so good in lane 6. But plenty of swimmers not too far behind him.
Finlay Douglas there coming through in lane 2 from Geary. Close on Colin's shoulder as Alex Forsyth from West Lothian, but also teammate James McFarlane from West Lothian's in the mix.
Well, looks like we might have lost the scoreboard there because no time's coming up at the halfway point, so they haven't not got that to guide us, and now the scoreboard has gone black on us, so we'll see how we go. Well, we do now have some intermediate times. Finlay Douglas showing as the leader at halfway, 1:11.39. He's in lane 2, and he does now look to have the clear advantage.
It's still the battle between City of Glasgow and the 2 West Lothian boys to get second and third here in this heat.
So coming to the third turn, and it does look like we're back in business with the scoreboard, so good work from the boys in the box, 1:49.65.
Alex Forsyth turning the second, 1:49.94. So closing that gap. Alex Forsyth coming through strongly in this last 25.
Yep, looks like it is the battle between Douglas and Forsyth here. In the middle lane as well, James McFarlane, but I think it's going to be Finlay Douglas. He's looking the most likely here. The Geary swimmer in lane 2, and he takes it in 2:26.76. Entered 2:27.56, so just about a second's improvement.
Alex Forsyth taking second in 2:27.26, and James McFarlane third in 2:28.54.
And there is the summary of your result. Finlay Douglas first, Alex Forsyth second, James McFarlane in third. Very tight for third and fourth there.
It was
Darren Smith just behind James.
Dan came through strongly in that last 25 metres.
They shouldn't be doing any announcements over the 10 period. We can get them to feed that back. So we move on now to Heat 4. Just a wee pause as a public announcement came over the tannoy, so we've got rid of that and we're back on our way. So in Heat 4, we've got 3 Warrender swimmers in lane 0 to 2. Jeremy Scott in 0, Fraser Meadows in 1, and Thomas Harrison in 2. 3 is Tony Dugan of North Lanarkshire. 4, Kieran Izzett of City of Glasgow. Another Warrender swimmer, Andrew Hepburn in 5. Ellis Lawson of First in 6. Andrew England of Carnegie in 7. Callum Mackay of Warrender in 8. And Kyle Pate of Fife Performance in 9. So Andrew England, 33.07.
Just slightly ahead Andrew Hepburn from Warndon, 33.09 in lane 5 there.
So Andrew had a good 100 backstroke swim earlier in the week, posted a good PB. He's been looking to repeat that in the double distance. Over in lane 5, Andrew Hepburn, the leader of the Warrender pack.
Looking lane 9, Kyle Pate, Fife Performance coming up with these two boys.
Yeah,
and Kyle takes the turn at the 100 and 69.7.
Yep, that was a good second length from Kyle. And he is right up there now with Andrew England, so Fife and Carnegie. 2 local rivals will have swum against each other plenty of times, I would think. The 14-year-old and the 15-year-old. Over on the far side, Jeremy Scott in lane 0 is moving up well.
Still looks like Andrew England in the front as we approach the 150 mark.
Yes, our view of lane 9 slightly obscured as they go through the turn end, but Kyle Pate just falling back to second now, and England back in the lead, 147.15. Now he needs to push it hard down this last length. In the centre lanes, Kieran Izzett and Andrew Hepburn pushing on, but it still is England, and he's got a body length advantage, although lane 4, Kieran Izzett is making a late challenge here in lane 4, but it looks like Andrew England should hold him off. They come towards the final 5. England still has about a metre and a half advantage, and he comes in to take it, 2:23.96. So improves by about a second and a half on his entry time.
Kieran Izzett taking second there in 2:25.09, and Kyle Pate third in 2:25.92.
And that result summarised for you now. Andrew England, Kieran Izzett, and Kyle Pate. So next up is Heat 5. Full 10 swimmers in place, ready to go. And they go. Craig Turner of Fife Performance in 0. Robbie Chaika of Best in 1. Craig Nisbet of North Ayrshire in 2. Daniel Green of South Aberdeenshire in 3. Chris Watson of Warrender in 4. Hamish Milne of Perth City in 5. Spencer O'Grady of Geary in 6. Alex Sharp of Dundee City Aquatics in 7. Stian Howard of South Aberdeenshire in 8. Gregor Swinney of Best in lane 9.
Chris Watson there from Warrender off to a really strong start, leading the field in that first 50.
32.21 for him. So this is a bit faster than the previous heats. And certainly driving on strongly here, Chris Watson. He's got about 4 meters on a very tight contest for second. Coming towards halfway, Watson. So let's just check his split, 107.87, about 2 seconds faster than previous heat. We need a 2:18.4 is the target time to get into the B final. Maybe slightly tough from a 107.8, but he won't be a long way from it if he can keep it going.
No, if you can keep it going on this third and fourth 50.
So driving on in lane 1, Robbie Chaika from the Borders. Now swims with Kelso, previously Gala Shields, but all part of the Borders elite swim team. But it is Watson who is well clear, 1:45.81. In fact, it's O'Grady second and Sharp third.
Close for the other places coming in behind Chris Watson. Chris Watson holding on there, coming into that last 25.
And well, Watson maybe struggling now, and they're beginning to catch up with him, led by Geary's Spencer O'Grady. He's got the lead down to about a metre now, and he is coming right at Chris Watson here into the final 5 metres, and I think Chris Watson could just lose this. It's going to be O'Grady, I think. Yes, it is. So great attack down that last length there. Spencer O'Grady, 2:24.65. Watson just struggling in that last 50 and has to concede second, 2:24.94, and the results summarised for you there. So it is Spencer O'Grady of Geary who takes it, 2:24.65. Chris Watson second, 2:24.94, and Craig Nisbet of North Ayrshire was third, 2:26.42, just ahead of Robbie Chaika from Best.
A really strong last 50 there for Spencer O'Grady.
Yep, really attacked when he saw that weakness on. Or maybe he didn't see it, but he just attacked anyway. But a good swim there. Should be pleased with that. Moving on to the final heat in this men's 200 backstroke. All 10 lanes occupied. 2:22, the fastest entry time. Kieran Preston. And the full field, Andrew Jessamine of Afford in 0, Callum McGregor of Fife Performance in 1, Jamie Waller of Hearts in 2, Matthew Ray of Newburn in 3, Kieran Preston, South Aberdeenshire in 4, Andrew Wicks of Leicester Penguins in 5, Sean Swayam of East Lothian in 6, Scott McClay of Perth City in 7, Blair Fotheringham of St Thomas in 8, and Craig McCulloch of South Lanarkshire in 9. Matthew Ray then of Newburn, also in the northeast of England, turning first, 32.53.
There's Scott McClay there as well.
We seem to be talking about Scott McClay quite a lot over the last few days. Every time he's gone into the pool, he's swum well. See if he can push it on here, see what he can do. But it's the orange cap still of Matthew Ray, who is leading the way. Newburn swimmer 2:23.65, I was going to say. Sure, you had something much more interesting to say.
No, I was just going to say that the rest of the field's coming up there, quite close now.
Yep.
Between several of the lanes.
Andrew Wicks, another from south of the border. Scott from Leicester. We see him at quite a lot of national events. Came up for national age groups.
Looks like Jamie Waller in lane 2 from Heart of Midlothian pushing up there.
Yeah, Jamie is having a good meet as well, as is his young sister, Alexi. 1:45.47 then. Jamie Waller in second.
Good turn there from Jamie, good fly kicking off that wall.
And he's put himself in a position to mount a challenge. So we saw a terrific challenge in the previous heat. Can Waller pull off the same? Not sure that Ray is interested in that happening. He's still got a body length advantage, and he's not going to have any nonsense here. He is going to take this one. Coming up well in lane 5 is Wicks, and in 7, McClay, and they battling up second along with Waller, and it was McClay just edging it, but it's all behind Matthew Ray. So summary of the result for you there: 2:21.51 Matthew Ray of Newburn, second Scott McClay of 2:23.83 per city swimmer, Jamie Waller third, 2:24.02.
All
So
these boys well inside their entry times there.
yep, they'll be pleased with that. Not getting a swim this evening, but best time is a best time, and they'll be happy with that. So moving on now to the women's 200 butterfly, and we've got 5 heats to go in this one. Just the 3 swimmers to go in heat 1, but it's quality, not quantity, that we're interested in. And we've got times 2:52 and 2:53. So off they go, and as the hooter goes, we've got Olivia Burridge of Warrender in 3, Katie Donald of South Lanarkshire in 4, and Emma Scully of North Ayrshire in 5.
Emma Scully had a really nice start there, some really good underwater kicking. Started to swim after the other girls had came up, but was ahead when she came up.
So good technique for the start from her, and the 12-year-old is first to turn, 35.39. So for a youngster on 200 fly, what do you teach them?
It's all about the legs. I think because as you get tired, the body's dropping, and if the leg kick drops, then you're just using all your upper body. And by the end of that 200, really tired, you're having to drag your body through the water. But if you can keep the hips high and keep the legs kicking, just makes it that little bit easier as you come down that last 50.
So let's see if they can do that. Still it's Scully, and then the 2 others, Burridge and Donald, well matched. Scully going through 1:17.24. Was winner in the West District Junior age groups in East Kilbride earlier in the year, so has had good competitive success in this event. I imagine this is her first national championships as a 12-year-old. Be very surprising if she was there last year over in the Commonwealth pool. Lovely to be back in Tollcross for these championships. This is where they belong. And
fantastic facility now that it's been done for Commonwealth Games.
yes, it is, and it's good to see we've got a pretty good gallery this afternoon. Obviously with the weekend here, people are coming to watch us, and there are seats available for this evening if you'd like to come along. It would be great to have you here. It should be an exciting night. But coming down the last length then, remember what Heather said about that last length and trying to keep that stroke together to make it easy. Scully looks to be doing that pretty well.
Yeah, nice strong kick there. Extending her lead as she goes through.
Still a tight tussle for second. Katie Donald maybe just getting the edge over Olivia Burridge. But it's going to be Emma Scully, the youngster, 12-year-old from North Ayrshire, entered 2:52, improves that by 6 seconds, 2:46.81. Coming in for second place, South Lanarkshire's Katie Donald, the 13-year-old, 2:54.12. And the results summarised for you there with Olivia Burridge third, so Scully first, Donald second, Burridge third. The winning time, 2:46.81.
Lovely swim there from Emma Scully.
So moving on to heat 2, and we've got 8 in the pool here. they're on their way. Second time in recent heats. We've got 3 Warrender swimmers in lanes 1 to 3. Emma Chittleborough in 1, Hannah Ewing in 2, Jessica Damon in 3. Then Catherine Swinney of Best in 4, Katie McDonald of Warrender in 5, Hazel Johnson of Geary in 6, Orla Edwards of Afford in 7, and Rosie Stanger of Stirling in 8.
And close going into this first 50 turn.
Yep. Rosie Stanger just with the touch, 34.94. But all to play for here. Really, all 8 still very much involved in this one. Still the white cap of Rosie Stanger leading them in lane 8. So between the green and the blue lane ropes.
Lovely stroke from Jessica Damon. Nice rhythm coming through there in lane 3 from Warrender.
So she's going to turn second at halfway behind Rosie. About a second and a half back. 1:17.57 plays 1:19.10. Third place, Orla Edwards from Afford. Rosie is building a lead, I think. And Jessica Damon creating a bit of space now between her and the swimmers behind her, with Warrender challenging for third now as well, Hannah Ewing and Katie McDonald. But at the front, I think it's going to be a contest between Rosie Stanger in 8 and Jessica Damon in 3. And at the touch at 150, there's not a lot in it, but it's Jessica Damon who's taken the lead over, 2:02.66. So the pressure on down this last length.
But Jessica's holding that stroke. Really nice rhythm, strong kicking. I think that third 50 sometimes in that 200 flies make or break for some of these girls, or
So
for any of them.
Hopefully it's make for Jessica Damon. 15 metres to go as they pass that red marker, and she has got the advantage now by some margin, 3, 4, 5 metres, and that's building as she comes in. So going to be in the 2:46 range, 2:46.83. Jessica entered 2:50.66, so near enough 4 seconds an improvement. You can't ask for any more, surely, as a coach than that.
No, definitely not. Excellent swim there by Jessica.
So, confirmation then coming up imminently, I would think, of the top 3. Here it is for you. Jessica Damon first, 2:46.83. Rosie Stanger second, 2:53.41. Hannah Ewing of Warrender third, 2:54.05. Moving on to heat 3. No swimmer in lane 4. So we are on our way with Ailsa Timoney of Warrender in 0, Kaylee Orman of Hearts in 1, Kirsty Miller of South Lanarkshire in 2, Sarah Donnelly of Carnegie in 3, Freya Thompson of Perth City in 5, Kirsty McGinley of Ran 96 in 6, Victoria Brough of West Lothian in 7, Niamh Mullen of Kinross in 8, and Kirsten Laurie of First in 9.
Looks like Freya Thompson, Perth City's taking that out in that first 50 to turn. 33.97.
So that's about a second faster than the previous heat after the first 50. So starting off well here. 2:40 is the fastest entry time. 2:40.86 Freya Thompson, who leads us coming down the second length. We need 2:35, under 2:35 to get into the B final. So 5 or nearly 6 seconds has to be knocked off for Freya to challenge the morning swimmers. So coming to halfway, 1:14.21. So round about 40-second split.
It's a 12-year-old that's leading this field.
And a pretty good 12-year-old as well, this Perth City girl. So Perth City continuing the good work here. Freya was 4th in national age groups in April. Winner in the Midland District Championships. And showing the others a clean pair of heels here.
Looking very strong coming into this last 50.
So 155.71, a 41.5 there. So trying to work out my mental maths. I think we're talking about something like 2:36 if she could do it. 2:35 is what she needs. So if she could get this extra little bit of pace down this last length, she could be in there, but chances are slightly off it, and maybe just tying up.
Just tying up a little bit there, but it's still holding out there in the front, holding a stroke together, strong kicking. That looked like a little burst of speed there.
Probably too much to ask for a 12-year-old to make it into a senior final like this, but what a good swim from her. 2:37.41. Must be very delighted with that, I would think. 3 and a bit seconds inside her entry time.
Excellent swim there from young Freya.
Sarah Donnelly, 2:45 seconds dead in second place. Ailsa Timoney, 2:46.40. So a good improvement for Ailsa into 2:49. So we're just waiting for that result to be confirmed. It just seemed to be taking a wee time over it this time. So I don't know whether that means anything that we should be worried about. At the moment, I think they're probably just looking at the placings. A number of swimmers coming in the sort of 2:48, 2:49, 2:50 range. So just got that right. But here we go with the result. Freya Thompson, 2:37.41 in first place. Sarah Donnelly second, 2:45 dead. And Ailsa Timoney in third place. So heat 4 out of 5. So heat 4, Beth Gray of Midlothian in lane 0, Lexi Waller of Hearts in 1, Reagan Lang of Mulgai and Bearsden in 2, Katie Stark of Warrender in 3, Francesca Christopherson of South Aberdeenshire in 4, Danny Buchanan of North Lanarkshire in 5, Katie Mackenzie of Highland in 6, Chloe Payne of Warrender in 7, Shannon Crawford of Geary in 8, and Lucy Buchan of First in 9.
It looks like Katie Stark from Warrender as we hit the first turn.
32.80, so she's hit that first 50 pretty fast. Now, I think I saw her missing in one of the earlier races, so maybe she's saved herself for this one.
Maybe. But quite close behind her in lanes 4 and 5.
Yep, Francesca Christopherson and Danny Buchanan. Those two swimmers in the centre lanes, about 2.5 metres back on Katie. So the Warrender swimmer leading the way as they come to halfway. I don't know this lead is building. 1:13 plays 1:14.4, so 1.4 the gap. Still about a second, 1.2 seconds faster than the previous heat. So if Katie could drive on, although I think maybe she's just coming under pressure now from Francesca.
Yeah, Francesca had a really good turn there and caught up quite a bit on Katie as she came off the wall. But Katie looks to be responding to that.
Yeah, I think of Katie as a sprinter, very good freestyle sprinter, but showing that she's got some stamina as well here, and she'll need to use it on this last 50 if she's going to hold off Francesca Christopherson. So at the 150, Katie going through 1:55.82. She does still lead by over 2 seconds. It didn't look as much as that, but there you go. Looks, and you're looking down the length of a 50-meter pool can be deceiving. And she is looking good to take this one. Lane 2, Reagan Lang is pushing hard in third place, but it's Stark. So her entry time is 2:41.51. Remember, 2:35 is the time needed to swim again. I don't think that's going to be on here, but it's working hard here. We're just hanging on to her stroke now in these last few meters, but hang on she does, and she takes it 2:39.55, just tying up somewhat in that last 50, but holding on to the win.
Regan Lang came through strongly there towards the end in lane 2 from O'Gine Bearsden.
Yep, a good second place for her in 2:41.99, and going past Christopherson down that last length, so Francesca Christopherson in third. And that result being confirmed for you now. Katie Stark then, 2:39.55. Regan Lang, 2:41.99 in second. Francesca Christopherson third in 2:42.68. Heat 5, the final 200 butterfly heat on its way. So a comparatively old start going in lane 4 in this one, Kirsty Lyle. So see how she can do, Western Bartonshire swimmer. Unfortunately, there a disqualification in that last one, and that was lane 7, Chloe Payne. So she'll be disappointed about that as we now move on to heat 5. So Heather, not as we go through the full field, Kira Sims of Warrender in 0, Adriana Bullivant of Stranraer in 1, Ainsley Wright, South Lanarkshire in 2, Erin Cooper of West Lothian in 3, Kirsty Lyle of Western Bartonshire in 4, Claire Maloney of Carnegie in 5, Isla Gordon of Stirling in 6, Megan Laurie of Warrender in 7, Lorna Gemmell of South Lanarkshire in 8, Kate Jones of Lowick in 9. So not many swimmers in their mid-20s still competing competitively. What do you think that is? It's only in the girls anyway, more so in the men.
I was going to say in the men there's a lot more, isn't there?
Yes, there are.
There's a lot more.
Why do the girls not stick at it so much?
Boys?
Surely not. What better place to meet a boy than in a pool?
That's what I would have thought. I don't know why we don't seem to be keeping girls.
So we've got the 24-year-old Kirsty Lyle. She's currently lying third here behind Claire Maloney and Ainsley Wright. We saw a strong 400 free swim from Claire earlier on this afternoon, and she's going here 1 at 11.45, so that's another good first 100 in this 100 butterfly for Claire.
She's holding a nice rhythm there as she keeps out to the front. Coming up in lane 9, Katie Jones, just joining these girls in second place.
Yep, so another from the Shetlands, Lowick swimmer, Kate Jones, challenging Kirsty Lyle and Erin Cooper. But quite a long way ahead of them now is Claire Maloney, the Carnegie 14-year-old. So let's see what her split is here. 1:53.42. So can she hold it together?
Kate Jones there from Lerwick in lane 9's came up into second place. A strong third 50 there.
So that was a 42-second split for Claire there. Another of those, and she would be knocking on the door for a place in the B final. But really needs to push it on, probably hurting like anything at this stage. Can she drive on? Entry time for Claire is 2:40.70. I'm sure she's assured of an improvement on that. It is the Lowick girl, Kate Jones, in second place now, clear as Maloney comes in. So in the end, just fading slightly, 2:37.41. But again, a nice improvement on her entry time of over 3 seconds.
Hard race there to finish when you're tired, when you're out there on your own and there's nobody to push you on or nobody to chase down. So well done to Claire.
Yep, that's good stuffy swim there. And Kate Jones taking second. Looks like the Stranraer girl. So from the Shetland Islands to Stranraer, we cover the country. So Adriana Bullivant taking third from Stranraer. And there's the confirmation for you. Claire Maloney first, 2:37.41. Kate Jones second, 2:42.48. And Adriana Bullivant, 2:47.26.
Yeah, excellent swims from these young girls.
So we move now to the 50s. 50 freestyle. And we've got 6 heats in the men's here. Starting off with 3 swimmers all in the 27-second range. Time they need to beat a fairly fast 25 seconds, so that will be a challenge.
Yeah, there's a couple of boys there in 25.99 in heat 5 and 25.86 in lane 6, so just maybe they'll get in and get that second swim tonight.
Yeah, one of them scarcely a boy, the 32-year-old, Mr. Schlar from Bristol, but I'm sure he'll be delighted for Heather to call him a boy.
Yeah, didn't notice the age.
So just testing the starting equipment at the other end of the pool, making sure that that's working properly before we go. And then we'll be on our way. And looks like we're just about there now.
Really important on these 50s, especially on the freestyle, for these boys to get a good start, but strong in that last 20 metres and head down the last 5 metres into the finish. No time to think about strokes, just get in and race.
So the balance between a really good start, a safe start, and a really fast start, and a flyer, it's a knife edge, isn't it?
It is indeed, it is.
So it's always amazes me that more don't get DQ'd for flyers, because they really do judge it well. But you need to be absolutely on the top of your game when that start signal goes, because if you're standing there on the blocks, you're just eating up the time.
You don't want to be left on that block as everybody else flies through the air.
So just a little delay here as we are preparing ourselves, but I think it looks like we're ready to go now. So 3 swimmers. And those 3 swimmers are Peter Holmes-Aguirre in 3, David Mulligan of Warrender in 4, and Andrew Sawkins of Hearts in 5. So all entered on 27.2 and change, so just 500 separating them. And well, there's not a lot separating them in the pool either.
Looks like David Mulligan pulling through though in that last 15 metres.
So he's got about a beater, and it will be Mulligan who takes it and proves nicely on his entry time, 26.42. So, well, an 0.8 improvement there, so if we can get that later on, who knows. So Mulligan takes it, Sawkins second, and Holmes third. So 8 swimmers go in heat 2. 26.9 up to 27.2 the entry times here. So quickly running through the field, Scott in 1, Lambert in 2, Meadows in 3, Jackson in 4, Crichton in 5, Sterling in 6, Arnott in 7, and Black in 8. So how do you call this? So Scott Jackson, one of yours?
Yeah, City of Glasgow trains with Graham Wardell.
Oh, it's close though, and it was Black, James Black in lane 8, who just snatched it in the last stroke there, 26.06, so another good improvement there. He was entered on 27.20, so over a second improvement. Scott Jackson second, 26.23, Cameron Arnott third, 26.60. And on to heat 3. They'll come at you fast and furious, these 50s. McIntyre, the fastest entry time here, 26.83. Swinney, 26.84. Others all in the 26.8, 26.9 range. the field. Dominic in 0, Young in 1, Stewart in 2, Cowburn in 3, McIntyre in 4, Swinney in 5, Todd in 6, Doyle in 7, Waller in 8, and Heald in 9. So no swimmer in.
Coming into this last 20 metres, but maybe looks like lane 2, Ben Crowburn.
I think in fact it's Struan Stewart who's just got the edge. Also Dominic on the far side, so 2 yellow caps. But it is Stewart who takes it 26.31. By half a second he improves. And the summary up very quickly for you there. Dominic second, 26.46, and Taylor Young third, 26.63. All of them in there improving, so should be happy. And we go ever onwards to heat 4. 26.0 up to 26.8, so a bit more of a range of times here. So Swayam in 0, McKinney in 1, Bruce in 2, Neverson in 3, McPherson Stewart in 4, McDonald in 5, Park in 6, Deans in 7, McDonald in 8, and McCluckey in 9.
All in a line coming into this last 15.
Yep, hard to call this one.
Maybe lane 3 slightly got the edge.
That's Luke Neverson, and I think it is going to be Neverson who takes it. Oh, close, just 400s, but we got it right there, Heather. 26.12. 400s ahead of Cameron Park of South Lanarkshire. 26.16 for him in second, and Graham McKinney of North Lanarkshire in third in 26.29.
Really important for these boys to get their heads down that last 5 metres and spot that finish.
So heat 5. 25.9 up to 26.8 are the entry times here. And the field is LB in 1, Flanagan in 2, Walk in 3, Clark in 4, Schlar in 4, Porteous in 5, Allison in 6, Lauder in 7, Finlayson in 8, and Reid in 9.
It looks like maybe James Flanagan ahead there in lane 1.
Oh, Porteous in 5 is up there as well. And in 3, it's Stu Clark, and between them, Porteous takes it. 25.31, just a quarter of a second outside the money for a place in the final, but a solid swim from Ian. 0.8 of an improvement. So heat 6, the final 50 freestyle heat. You really can't catch your breath with these swims going on. So 25.8 Paddy Pender up to 26.7, the range of entry times here. We have an empty lane in lane 8, so the field Swayam in 0, Phillips in 1, McGlashan in 2, Sharp in 3, Pender in 4, Chappell in 5, Allen in 6, Strachan in 7, and Griffin in 9.
Looks maybe a battle between 2, 3 and 4 here as we come into this last 15, with lane 5 coming up through strongly.
Yeah, this is really too tight to call, so we'll wait to see that as it comes in. It's Pender, 25.89 for him. So pretty much on his entry time of 25.86. Second, as you can see on the board, is Callum Chappell of Winsford, and Craig McGlashan taking third, 25.94, 25.96, so very tight, just 700ths between the top 3.
I'm glad we don't need to decide on races like that the pads do that for everybody.
Absolutely. Can you remember the days when judges had to call that with manual watches? I mean, there's no way they could really be precise about that. It would be a lucky guess, really. But we're way beyond those days now, thank goodness, as we have our electronics and a strong team of electronic wizzos in the box to make sure that we stay right. 50 breaststroke is our final event of this afternoon's session, so we've seemed to whistle through it, and we've got 6 heats here. The lineup for the first heat is there for you. We've got 6 swimmers scheduled to go, and just looking down the far end, looks like they're all there.
Yeah, looks like 6 there.
So the fastest entry time is Megan Bowie's 41.20, with just 2/10 separating them. Not quite be as frantic as the freestyle, but still going to be pretty fast down the pool on the breaststroke. And we're off. Robin Hill of North Lanarkshire in 2, Chloe Toe of City of Newcastle in 3, Megan Bowie of Afford in 4, Natasha Allen of Kilmarnock in 5, Kate Jones of Lerwick in 6, and Kate Rockcliffe of Hearts in 7.
It looks like Kate Jones from Lerwick just slightly ahead there.
So another good swim from Lerwick swimmer. Kate Rockcliffe maybe is challenging her in lane 7. And just behind them, Natasha Allen of Kilmarnock in the pale blue cap. It's these 3, I think, who are going to sort it between them. It's very tight coming into the finish. And the touch does go to the Kilmarnock girl, Natasha Allen. Good last 20 metres from her. And she takes it by 40.23. Didn't look like a quarter of a second difference in that, but that's what's come up. And the electronics don't lie. Kate Jones second, 40.48, and Kate Rockcliffe third, 40.59.
Kilmarnock, that was the club I learnt with and first swam for competitively.
Not that long
back
ago.
in the 80s. Long time ago.
Well, they can still produce some good swimmers, obviously. Heat 2. So full pool here. Katie McKenzie in 0, Alstea Nuti in 1, Chloe Montague in 2, Tammy Park in 3, Louise Anderson in 4, Megan Carmody in 5, Heather Smith in 6, Natalie Summers in 7, Abby Mellon in 8, and Ailsa Duthie in 9.
A strong start there, that first 25 from Katie McKenzie in the Highlands. She's got quite a high stroke compared with some of the rest of the girls who are quite low in the water.
So the girl from the Isle of Skye, we've got a few of them, including Rebecca Smith, Ruth Gordon, but this time Katie McKenzie, and that was a good swim from her, nearly 2 seconds of improvement, so should be well pleased with that. Second, Ailsa Duthie, 40.09, and third, now I hope I've got this name right, Alstea Nuti, the Aberdeen swimmer, 40.39. You can Twitter me if I've got it wrong and put me right.
Glad you got that bit.
So moving on to Heat 3. And off we go. Bobby Gregg in 0, Emma Kennedy in 1, Georgia Callender in 2, Nicola Cuthbertson in 3, Katie Smith in 4, Beth Brown in 5, Rachel Saxon in 6, Megan McCarroll in 7, Freya Thompson in 8, and Ailsa Timoney in 9.
Quite close this one, but lane 8 looks to be going strong.
Freya
Ailsa
Thompson,
Timoney.
who we saw doing a really good swim earlier on. To Ailsa Timoney on the near side, and over in lane 2, Georgia Callender. And it's going to be those two now battling it out. And, well, it was Ailsa Timoney on the near side, lane 9. Haven't seen a lane 9 win for a while, but we have now, 38.96. Georgia Callender second, 39.15, and Bobby Gregg taking third, 39.89. So nice swim from Ailsa, good improvement, 2 seconds as we move on to Heat 4. 0, Emma Tulip in 0, Megan Pathal in 1, Heather Lees in 2, Zoe McDonald in 3, Anya Reid in 4, Caitlin Hamilton in 5, Katie Donald in 6, Kate Story in 7, Rachel Brisbane in 8, and Caitlin Stevenson in 9.
Caitlin Hamilton got a really strong start there. That first 25, Anya Reid from first chasing her down, and Heather Lees from first as well.
So fairly tight, the two first girls challenging the girl from East Lothian, and they're getting very close to her now as they come into the wall, but Caitlin Hamilton sees them off, 37.41 for her. So she improves by 1.3 there, so getting closer to the time needed to get into the B final. 36.1 they need to be plus, so another second and a bit. If we can get that off in the last two heats, then who knows, we may get another one in. Just the one, I think, so far this afternoon.
Yeah, just one from earlier on.
Plus a reserve.
That was in the women's 400 free, wasn't it? Lucy Howarth from Newcastle.
Yeah, that was a great swim from Lucy. So just a little pause here, but we're just about ready to go now with the penultimate race of this afternoon session, Heat 5 in the women's 50 breaststroke. And they're off with, again, a full lineup. Lena Guarin of South Lanarkshire in 0, Kelsey Robertson in 1, Imogen Bishop in 2, Jess Black in 3, Paige Aitchison in 4, Louise Fair in 5, Jennifer Dixon in 6, Chloe O'Hara in 7, Christy Johnson in 8, and Ailey Smith in 9.
It looks like Carnegie versus Hearts here.
Yep, so an East District battle, and I think the Hearts girls have the advantage. Louise Fair in particular in lane 5 is going to take this one, and she comes in 37.19. So another good improvement from a 38.46 entry time. A couple of tenths faster than the previous heat. Paige Aitchison in second place, 37.77. Daughter of one of my co-poolside commentators, so well done to Paige. And third, Kelsey Robertson, 37.78. So Hearts were the victors against Carnegie in that one. Phil Potter will have enjoyed that. Heat 6 then, the last race of a pretty good afternoon session with lots of PBs. And there they go, Cara Thompson in 0, Emma Williams in 1, Ailey McManus in 2, Elaine Sherwood in 3, Faye Clark in 4, Erin Holmes in 5, Orla Edwards in 6, Ellen Davey in 7, Adrienne Allen in 8, and Georgia Lynch in 9.
Well, hard to call on this one as we come into this last 20 metres.
The noon swimmer, Elaine Sherwood, another one comparatively old, 23, she's right up there. So is Emma Williams in 1, and the South Lanarkshire girl, Erin Holmes, in 5. I think it'll be one of those three. The touch going to Erin Holmes in the end, 37.53.
Good finish there from Erin Holmes.
Really spotted her finish there. And the summary for you. Erin Holmes, South Lanarkshire, 37.53. Emma Williams of Mulgoy and Bearsden, second, 37.66. And it was Elaine Sherwood in third, 37.74. All three comfortably inside their entry times, but not quite fast enough to challenge for the finals. So again, in the women's 50 breaststroke will be the swimmers from this morning who will progress. So that's the swimming complete for session 8, afternoon session on day 3 here at the Scottish Gas National Championships at Tollcross. We look forward to seeing you back for what should be an exciting session of live coverage this evening. 5 o'clock start for the evening session. And in the meantime, you can keep up to date with interviews at the Scottish Swimming YouTube page and keep tweeting to us. Hashtag SGN13Live. SGN13Live. And the pictures to Instagram, hashtag SGN13Pics, P-I-X on the end. My thanks once again to Heather for your company and your swimming insights on this afternoon session. We'll be back again, Heather and I, for the evening session. We look forward to your company then, but in the meantime, it's goodbye from Tollcross and the Scottish Gas National Championships, and we hope to have you tuning in again later on for session 9.
The British Gas Swim Britain Challenge is a great way to get the whole nation involved, be more healthy, be more active.
It's a giant relay race. We need teams of 4, so hopefully lots of people can get involved. Swim Britain are providing training sessions. This will encourage people to see the benefits of improvements.
Swim Britain will really help me break away from my busy schedule, just get away from everything.
That element of teamwork and training and a group is great fun. You know, anyone can swim no matter what your kind of fitness or sporting background.
That's what's brilliant about this, is that it is a team event. It just makes it so much more fun. You can all cheer each other, support each other on.
I want to take part in Swim Britain because I want to get fitter, lose some weight and make a permanent change to my exercise routine.
So make sure you sign up to this amazing challenge. You never know, I could be on your team.